Hello, my friends, it's Matthew Street. Welcome to my channel. And folks, welcome to episode 1 of the Beatles album Spotlight. This new series will take random Beatles albums. They could be official US releases, UK releases, fan club only issues, or bootlegs as they're known. And I will focus on that one album for a few minutes. It'll be a quick hit. You'll learn a little bit about the album. You'll learn a little bit about my personal thoughts on it. And we'll take it from there. So, folks, I hope you enjoy this series, and let's go. The first episode, Meet the Beatles. Now, folks, Meet the Beatles came out on January 20th of 1964. It spent 11 weeks at #1 on the charts. It was a major, major success. It has been listed as of 1991, you're talking over 30 years ago, as 5 times platinum. And with all the recent releases of CDs, and the new US albums box set, I have to imagine that 5 million number is way up there now. So this is a very, very successful Beatles album. It was one of the greatest rock and roll debuts in all history. And it started Beatlemania in the United States. Now, the iconic Robert Freeman cover is just, you see that and you know what it is and who it is and what it's all about. That is such... along with albums like Sgt. Pepper, Abbey Road, this has to be one of the most iconic Beatles album covers ever. Now, this album was my first LP that I ever had of the Beatles back in 1964. Mom and Dad, they were very progressive, very forward-thinking older folks in their 30s, and they got caught up in the Beatlemania, seeing all the young kids into the Beatles back then, and they purchased this album for me, and I loved it as that little boy in Providence, Rhode Island back in 1964, riding on my toy spring-loaded Pinto pony horse up on their second-floor apartment. It was absolutely fun, and I've never looked back, folks, since I received this album 60 years ago. Now, you have to say, a lot of people don't really care for the U.S. albums, the Capitol Frankenstein albums, but I think Capitol knocked it out of the park with this one. I think they did a fantastic job in the song sequencing. The track listing is excellent on this album, including I Want to Hold Your Hand, I Saw Her Standing There, and This Boy, along with several tracks from With the Beatles, and they made this wonderful rock and roll combination here. This is a top-notch album. And for the time when this came out, folks, in the United States, it was otherworldly. People had never seen anything like the Beatles. They had never heard anything like the Beatles. It was absolutely mind-blowing to the young folks back then. And to this day, when newer fans hear this album, they are blown away by it. The quality of it, the timelessness of it. It is absolutely fantastic. The sounds on this album had never been heard before in 1964. And so when people started hearing I Want to Hold Your Hand on the radio and then got into the rest of the album, they were blown away. It was a kind of music they had never experienced in their life prior to. And it was just unbelievable. So folks, this is the album that cemented the Beatles as living legends. And for us here in the United States, we've never looked back. After over 60 years, we still love and enjoy the Beatles. We still anticipate every new release or compilation that comes out or documentary or film. We look forward to it. And it all started here in the United States with this album right here, Meet the Beatles. Folks, if you've never checked it out, it is available in a couple of different box sets on CD. You can maybe still get it individually on CD, I believe, but you can certainly find the vinyl. You can find older original copies. They're all over the place. And at record stores, used record stores, yard sales and whatnot. You can also find this on the brand new US albums box set that just came out. You can get it in the box set as part of that collection, or you can get it individually in your stores right now. So check out Meet the Beatles. I don't think you'd be disappointed. It's a fine, fine album, and one that to this day I go back to all the time. Thanks for being here for episode 1 of the Beatles album Spotlight. I will be back for more episodes, and I hope if you enjoyed this series, please like and subscribe to my channel because I will be promoting more of these wonderful, wonderful albums. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.